Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivashkam Vidamscha Om Ajnana Timarandasha Jnananjana Shilakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurva Bhistam Supurakam Guraganara Sesha Sambhushitam Chintya Chintya Samasta Veda Nipunam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Bidam Ujwalam Varatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwaguruncha Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bijapradam Devam Divyatanam Suchandabaranam Malarka Chilanshitam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyamburim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shubharam Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Vanshikopatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahamaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gvaratavishe Namah. So we're continuing with our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. This was translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And this is the Adi-lila, chapter 1, the spiritual masters. And this is text number 34, which is a repetition of the first verse of the 14 Sanskrit verses that begin the Mangala Charan at the beginning of the chapter. Bande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Isha Vatarakan Tat Prakasham Chatat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samgyakam. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, His plenary portions, His energies, and the primeval Lord Himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So this is Mahaprabhu in 6 different aspects. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, His plenary portions, His energies, and the primeval Lord Himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Mantra Guru Nar Jata Shiksha Guru Gan Tahara Charana Age Koraye Bandan. I first offer my respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of my initiating spiritual master and all my instructing spiritual masters. Srila Jiva Goswami in his thesis, Bhakti Sandarbha, has stated that uncontaminated devotional service is the objective of pure Vaishnavas, and that one has to execute such service in the association of other devotees. By associating with devotees of Lord Krishna, one develops a sense of Krishna consciousness and thus becomes inclined toward the loving service of the Lord. This is the process of approaching the Supreme Lord by gradual appreciation in devotional service. If one desires unalloyed devotional service, one must associate with devotees of Sri Krishna, for by such association only can a conditioned soul achieve a taste for transcendental love and thus revive his eternal relationship with Godhead in a specific manifestation and in terms of the specific transcendental mellow rasa that one has eternally inherent in him or in himself. One develops love for Krishna by Krishna conscious activities. One can know the supreme absolute truth, but he who tries to understand God simply by logical arguments will not succeed, nor will he get a taste for unalloyed devotion. The secret is that one must submissively listen to those who know perfectly the science of God, and one must begin the mode of service regulated by the preceptor. A devotee already attracted by the name, form, qualities, etc. of the Supreme Lord may be directed to a specific manner of devotional service. He need not waste time in approaching the Lord through logic. An expert spiritual master knows well how to engage his disciples' energy in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, and thus he engages the devotee in a specific devotional service according to his special tendency. A devotee must have only one initiating spiritual master because in the scriptures, acceptance of more than one is always forbidden. There is no limit, however, to the number of instructing spiritual masters one may accept. Generally, a spiritual master who constantly instructs a disciple in spiritual science becomes his initiating spiritual master later on. One should always remember that a person who is reluctant to accept a spiritual master and be initiated is sure to be baffled in his endeavor to go back to Godhead. One who is not properly initiated may present himself as a great devotee, but in fact he is sure to encounter many stumbling blocks on his path of progress towards spiritual realization, with the result that he must continue his term of material existence without relief. Such a helpless person is compared to a ship without a rudder, for such a ship can never reach its destination. It is imperative, therefore, that one accept a spiritual master if he at all desires to gain the favor of the Lord. The service of the spiritual master is essential. If there is no chance to serve the spiritual master directly, a devotee should serve him by remembering his instructions. There is no difference between the spiritual master's instructions and the spiritual master himself. In his absence, therefore, his words of direction should be the pride of the disciple. If one thinks that he is above consulting anyone else, including a spiritual master, he is at once an offender at the lotus feet of the Lord. Such an offender can never go back to Godhead. It is imperative that a serious person accept a bona fide spiritual master in terms of the Shastric injunctions. Sri Jiva Goswami advises that one not accept a spiritual master in terms of hereditary or customary social and ecclesiastic conventions. One should simply try to find a genuinely qualified spiritual master for actual advancement in spiritual understanding. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath. My instructing spiritual masters are Shri Rupa Goswami, Shri Sanatan Goswami, Shri Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Goswami, Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Shri Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Echai Guru, Shikha Guru, Jayamar, Tasabar, Padapadme, Koti Namaskar. These six are my instructing spiritual masters, and therefore I offer millions of respectful obeisances unto their lotus feet. Bhagavaner Bhakta Jata Shrivas Pradhan Tasabar Parapadme Sahasra Pranam. There are innumerable devotees of the Lord, of whom Srivas Thakur is the foremost. I offer my respectful obeisances thousands of times unto their lotus feet. Advaita Charya Prabhu Amshavatar Tarapada Padme Kote Pranati Amar. Advaita Charya is the Lord's partial incarnation, and therefore I offer my obeisances millions of times at his lotus feet. Nityananda Rai Prabhu Swarup Prakash Tarapada Padme. Nityananda Rai Prabhu Swarup Prakash Tarapada Padma Bando Janamuidas. Sri Srila Nityananda Ram is the plenary manifestation of the Lord, and I have been initiated by him. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto his lotus feet. Well, Nityananda Prabhu appeared to Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj in a dream, and someone asked Srila Sridhar Maharaj, was Krishnadas Kaviraj initiated by Nityananda Prabhu? And Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, that is more than an initiation. So, but here the translation mentions initiation. So we'll go on from there. Gadadhar Panditare Prabhu Nija Shakti Tasabar Charane Mora Sahasra Pranati. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the internal potencies of the Lord, of whom Sri Gadadhar Pandit is the foremost. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Svayam Bhagavan Tahara Padara Binde Ananta Pranam. Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the personality of Godhead himself, and therefore I offer innumerable prostrations at his lotus feet. Sabarane Prabhure Korea Namaskar Echai Teho Jaiche Korea Bichar. Having offered obeisances unto the Lord and all his associates, I shall now try to explain these 6 diversities in one. So this is going to be now the explanation of the first verse of the Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we read at the beginning. Bande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nisha Avatarakan Tat Prakasham Chatat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samgyakam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Jajapi Amara Guru Chaitanya Radash Tatapi Janiyayami Tahara Prakash. Although I know that my spiritual master is a servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him also as a plenary manifestation of the Lord. Now this is very important. Although I know my spiritual master is a servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him as a plenary manifestation of the Lord. Shakshad Hari Tinasamasta Shastri. Every living entity is essentially a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the spiritual master is also the Lord's servant. Still, the spiritual master is a direct manifestation of the Lord. With this conviction, a disciple can advance in Krishna consciousness. The spiritual master is non-different from Krishna because he is a manifestation of Krishna. Lord Nityananda was Balaram himself. The first direct manifestation or expansion of Krishna is the original spiritual master. He helps Lord Krishna in his pastimes, and he is a servant of the Lord. Every living entity is eternally a servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Therefore, the spiritual master cannot be other than a servant of Lord Chaitanya. The spiritual master's eternal occupation is to expand the service of the Lord by training disciples in a service attitude. A spiritual master never poses as the Supreme Lord himself. He is considered a representative of the Lord. The revealed scriptures prohibit one's pretending to be God, but a bona fide spiritual master is the most faithful and confidential servant of the Lord, and therefore deserves as much respect as Krishna. Guru Krishna Rupa Hana Shastrara Pramane Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Korana Bhaktagane. According to the deliberate opinion of all revealed scriptures, the spiritual master is non-different from Krishna. Lord Krishna, in the form of the spiritual master, delivers his devotees. The relationship of a disciple with his spiritual master is as good as his relationship with the Supreme Lord. A spiritual master always represents himself as the humblest servitor of the personality of Godhead, but the disciple must look upon him as the manifested representation of Godhead. Acharya mam vijanayan navamanye takarhichit namartya buddha Namartya Budya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru Acharya Mam Vijanayan Navamanye Takarhichit Namartya Budya Suyeta Sarvadeva Mayo Guru. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods. And one of the offenses against the holy name is to consider the spiritual master to be an ordinary person or an ordinary man. One should know the Acharya as myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is a representative of all the demigods. Acharya mam vijanayan navamanye takarhichit namartya budya suyeta sarvadeva mayo guru. Siksha guru ke tajani krishnara swarup antarjami bhakta shrestha edui rup. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be the personality of Godhead. One should know the instructing master to be the personality of Krishna. Lord Krishna manifests himself as the super soul and is the greatest devotee of the Lord. Naivo payanja pachitim kavayastavesha Brahma yushapi kritam hridam buddha smaranta yontar bahisthanubritam asubam vidunvan acharya chaitya vapusha swagatim vyanakti. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. Well, specifically, we'll say that here it says, "Oh, my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma, for you appear in two features. Externally as Acharya, and internally, here the Supersoul, or we'll say specifically, Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within who guides one, Chaitya Guru. Externally as Acharya and internally as Chaitya Guru. And here mentioned as Supersoul. Tesham sadata yukdanam bhajatam pradipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayandite. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Yata brahmane bhagavan svayam upadishanu bhavitavan. The Supreme Personality of God, Swayam Bhagavan, taught Brahma and made himself realized. Jnanam paramaguyam me yad vijnana samanvitam sarahasyam tad angam cha grihana garitam maya. Please hear attentively what I shall speak to you, for transcendental knowledge about me is not only scientific, but also full of mysteries. Please hear attentively what I shall speak to you, for transcendental knowledge about me is not only scientific, but also full of mysteries. So here, Krishna is speaking to Brahma. He says to Brahma, Krishna is speaking to Brahma, and he says, Jnanam paramaguyam me yad vijnana samanvitam sahas sarahasyam tadanungam cha grihana garitam maya. Previously, the verse is Yata Brahmane Bhagavan Swayam Upadi Shanu Bhavitavan. Yata Brahmane Bhagavan Swayam Upadi Shanu Bhavitavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swayam Bhagavan, taught Brahman, made himself realized. And this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam, where Krishna says to Brahma, Jnanam paramaguyam me yad vijnana samanvitam saurahasyam tadanangam cha grihana garitam maya. Please hear attentively what I shall speak to you, for transcendental knowledge about me is not only scientific, but also full of mysteries. Yavan aham yatha bhava yadrupa guna karmaka tataiva tattva vijnanam astu te mad anugrahat. By my causeless mercy, be enlightened in truth about my personality, manifestations, qualities, and pastimes. Aham evasam evagre nanyad yad sadasat param paschadaham yad etatscha yovad sish sheta somshmiyaham. Prior to the cosmic creation, only I exist, and no phenomena exist, either gross, subtle, or primordial. After creation, only I exist in everything, and after annihilation, only I remain eternally. So Krishna tells Brahma, Aham evasam evagre nanyad yad asad nanyad yad sadasat param paschadaham yadev tatscha yovasisheta somshmiyaham. Aham evasam evagre nanyad yad sadasat param paschadaham yad etascha yovasisheta somsmiyaham. Prior to the cosmic creation, only I exist, and no phenomena exist, either gross, subtle, or primordial. After creation, only I exist in everything, and after annihilation, only I remain eternally. So you can understand from this verse clearly, Krishna is not part of the creation. He existed before the creation. During the creation, although we see so much variety around us, but only Krishna himself is really existing in the sense that everything is his energies. And after annihilation, Krishna continues to exist. So he is not one of the living beings who come from Lord Brahma, but he is actually the source of everything. Ritertam yad pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tadvidyanatmano mayam yata baso yata tamaha. What appears to be truth without me is certainly my illusory energy, for nothing can exist without me. It is like a reflection of a real light in the shadows, for in the light there are neither shadows nor reflections. What appears to be truth without me is certainly my illusory energy, for nothing can exist without me. It is like a reflection of a real light in the shadows, for in the light there are neither shadows nor reflections. So all these verses are called part of the Chatu Shloki. They are the principal 4 verses and mentioned in the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. They're considered the very nucleus of the Bhagavatam, and everything that occurs in the Bhagavatam is an expansion of those 4 verses. So these verses were spoken to Brahma prior to the creation, when Brahma was in confusion, and they give enlightened Brahma with knowledge. It is said, we are part of the Brahma Rudra Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Brahma's the original preceptor, and it's mentioned, Tane Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muyanti Yat Surya, that Lord Brahma received knowledge from within his heart by Krishna. Tane Brahma Rida in his heart. Tane Brahma Rida Adikavaye Muyanti Yat Surya. Adikavaye refers to Brahma, and he received knowledge within his heart, or Brahma, spiritual enlightenment. Yata Mahanti Bhutani Bhuteshu Chava Cheshvadnu Pravishtani Apravishtani Tata Teshu Nateshvaham Yata Mahanti Bhutani Bhuteshu Chava Cheshvanu Pravishtani Apravishtani Tatateshu Nateshvaham. As the material elements enter the bodies of all living beings and yet remain outside them all, I exist within all material creations, and yet I am not within them. As the material elements enter the bodies of all living beings and yet remain outside them, I exist within all material creations and yet am not within them. So Krishna, by his expansions of energy, this whole creation is but Krishna's energy. But at the same time, he maintains his own individual existence. Just as the creation is an expansion of his energies, that doesn't mean that the Lord, by expanding himself in these energies, has lost his original existence or personality. So he says, as the material elements enter the bodies of all living beings and yet remain outside them all, I exist within all material creations and yet am not within them. So everything's energy of the Lord, but he has his own personal existence. Etavadeva jigyasham tattva jigyasunatmana anvaya vyatirekabhyam yatshat sarvatra sarvada. A person interested in transcendental knowledge must therefore always directly and indirectly inquire about it to know the all-pervading truth. A person interested in transcendental knowledge must therefore always directly and indirectly inquire about it to know the all-pervading truth. Chintamanir Jayati Somagirir Gurur Me Siksha Gurus Cha Bhagavans Shikipinsha Moli Tatpara Kopataru Palava Shekarishu Lila Swayambara Rasam Labate Jaya Shri. All glories to Chintamani and my initiating spiritual master, Somagiri. All glories to my instructing spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who wears peacock feathers in his crown. Under the shade of his lotus feet, which are like desire trees, Jayashri Radharani enjoys the transcendental mellow of an eternal consort. This verse is from the Krishna Karnamrita, which was written by a great Vaishnava sannyasi named Bilva Mangal Thakur, who was also known as Lila Sukha. He intensely desired to enter into the eternal pastimes of the Lord, and he lived at Vrindaban for 700 years in the vicinity of Brahmakund, a still existing bathing tank in Vrindaban. The history of Bilva Mangal Thakur is given in a book called Sri Vallabha Digvijay. He appeared in the 8th century of the Shaka era in the province of Dravida and was the chief disciple of Vishnu Swami. In a list of temples and monasteries kept in Shankaracharya's monastery in Dwarka, Bilva Mangal is mentioned as the founder of the Dwarkadish temple there. He entrusted the service of his deity to Hari Brahmacharya, disciple of Vallabhabhata. Bilva Mangal Thakur actually entered into the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna. He has recorded his transcendental experiences and appreciation in the book known as Krishna Karnamrita. In the beginning of that book, he offered his obeisances to his different gurus, and it is to be noted that he has adored them all equally. The first spiritual master mentioned is Chintamani, who is one of his instructing spiritual masters because she first showed him the spiritual path. Chintamani was a prostitute with whom Bilva Mangal was intimate earlier in his life. She gave him the inspiration to begin on the path of devotional service, and because she convinced him to give up material existence to try for perfection by loving Krishna, he has first offered his respects to her. Next, he offers his respects to his initiating spiritual master, Somagiri, and then to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was also his instructing spiritual master. Explicitly mentions Bhagavan, who has peacock feathers in his crown because the Lord of Vrindaban, Krishna, the cowherd boy, used to come to Bilva Mangal to talk with him and supply him with milk. In his adoration of Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, he states that Jaya Shri, the goddess of fortune, Srimati Radharani, takes shelter in the shade of his lotus feet to enjoy the transcendental rasa of nuptial love. The complete treatise, Krishna Karnamrita, is dedicated to the transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna and Srimati Radharani. It is a book to be read and understood by the most elevated devotees of Sri Krishna. It's a very advanced book. Bilva Mangal originally was going to see Chintamani, who was a prostitute. And one time he made great endeavor to come reach her in the middle of a storm and with so many obstacles. And she told him that if you had as much attraction as the Lord as you have for this miserable body, you would be an enlightened soul. And those words proved to be like an epiphany. It awakened Bilva Mangal, and he then sought the shelter of the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. So she is mentioned as an instructing spiritual master, but because she helped begin his path in devotional service by her words. Jive shakat nahita te guru chaitya rupe, shika guru hoy Krishna mahanta swarupe. Since one cannot visually experience the presence of the Supersoul, he appears before us as a liberated devotee. Such a spiritual master is none other than Krishna himself. Since one cannot visually experience the presence of the Supersoul, he appears before us as a liberated devotee. Such a spiritual master is none other than Krishna himself. It is not possible for a conditioned soul to directly meet Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but if one becomes a sincere devotee and seriously engages in devotional service, Lord Krishna sends an instructing spiritual master to show him favor and invoke his dormant propensity for serving the Lord. The preceptor appears before the external features of the fortunate conditioned soul, and at the same time the devotee is guided from within by the Chaitya Guru, Krishna, who is seated as the spiritual master within the heart of the living entity. Tato dusangam utsrija satu sajeta buddhiman santevasya chindanti manovya sangam uktibi. One should therefore avoid bad company and associate only with devotees. With their realized instructions, such saints can cut the knot connecting one with activities unfavorable to devotional service. This verse, which appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, was spoken by Lord Krishna to Uddhava in the text known as the Uddhava Gita. The discussion relates to the story of Purushrava and the heavenly courtesan Urvashi. When Urvashi left Purushrava, he was deeply affected by the separation and had to learn to overcome his grief. It is indicated that to learn the transcendental science, it is imperative that one avoid the company of undesirable persons and always seek the company of saints and sages who are able to impart lessons of transcendental knowledge. The potent words of such realized souls penetrate the heart, thereby eradicating all misgivings accumulated through years of undesirable association. For a neophyte devotee, there are two kinds of persons whose association is undesirable: gross materialists, who constantly engage in sense gratification, and unbelievers who do not serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but serve their senses and their mental whims in terms of their speculative habits. Intelligent persons seeking transcendental realization should very scrupulously avoid their company, gross materialists and unbelievers. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti rid karna rasayana kata tajoshanad ashvapavarga vartmani shradaratir bhaktir anukramishyati. The spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in a society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. So I'm going to stop at this point. Tomorrow we'll continue with our reading. We'll just repeat the last verse. The spiritually powerful message of Godhead can be properly discussed only in a society of devotees, and it is greatly pleasing to hear in that association. If one hears from devotees, the way of transcendental experience quickly opens, and gradually one attains firm faith that in due course develops into attraction and devotion. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Madan-Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Saranara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhakta Raguna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhadra Dasa Raguna Jai Gosai Kori Charana Bandan Jao Aite Vignana Shabishta Puran Jai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Dasamar Pavarinu Mora Panchagras Tadir Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanimas Janame Janame More Abhilas Jai Gosai Jabe Bhaje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindaban Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Naratamodan Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charyashta Tara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajaka Charyashta Tara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nayam Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai, Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath, Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasudeva Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Srila Vrindaban Das Thakur Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad Ki Jai, Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai, Vishpavarenya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Sripad Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Madhacharya Vrinda Ki Jai, Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan, Sham Kana Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Ju Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So can you turn this off here? First you have to hit finish first.